Hello, I'm the Accidental Bookseller. My name is Paul. Welcome to the channel and welcome to Christmas Day on Booktube. First of all, I want to say a big thank you to everybody that's taken part and filmed a video for everyone to watch on Christmas Day or the days after. It's been nice to see the positivity for the project. And I'd love to know what books you've bought or received in recent days. So by all means, fill up the comments field with all that information. That'd be great. So I set a budget for the project of £50, which I've stuck to. It's £49.15, including postage. I've taken full advantage of reduced prices for bundles. I've used Vinted for the first time, and the first order that you make on Vinted, you get postage free. And rather than just buy one book, if I'd seen it, I've looked at the seller and seen what else they were buying, because if they're selling a particular genre, they might be selling the same genre. I made full use of that because typically a seller will knock money off if you're buying a bundle. I bought on eBay as well, and I don't know whether you know this, but if you see something that you like on eBay, don't necessarily buy it straight away. If you can wait and take the risk that no one else is going to leap in before you, add it to your watch list and leave it for a day or two. Because quite often the seller will send you a reduced offer. There's one of the things that I got where they sent me an offer after 2 days and I was busy. I couldn't do anything that day. So it ended up being 3. And they sent a further offer without me even responding to the first offer. So I got 2 reductions on the price. So through doing all this, I reduced the price even below the cover price for most of the items, and that paid for the postage. I think most things were £1 or less, which is amazing when you see some of the things that I've got. There was a couple of things that were a little bit more, but not much more. So without further ado, here's my haul. And the first 3 books I got from the Salvation Army charity shop, and it was 3 for £1. First one is Myrtle. I've seen this around since last year. Curious to know what all the fuss is about. I believe it's a glorified puzzle book connected to crime, and for the equivalent of 33p in fantastic condition, I snapped it up. The next one from the Salvation Army charity shop is Wilkie Collins' The Moonstone. Again, in very nice condition. Don't know what type of edition this is. It's the National Gallery of Victoria edition, presented by Thomas and Lady Travers. Be better with my glasses on, wouldn't it? 2004. Yeah, it's a classic. I fancy reading it. And then the third in that 3 for £1 is Bernard Cornwell's The Winter King. I was looking at when this was published, and it's 1996, 30 years. I'm pretty sure that's not been read. It's fantastic condition, no spine bend, and it's the first in his Arthurian trilogy. I believe it's a trilogy. The next book I got for £1 at the Morrison's charity shelf in the supermarket. I didn't even know this existed, and it's The Misadventures of a Rare Bookseller. Nice wraparound, and it actually come in this plastic sleeve as well, which is nice. In the inside, really nice inside. Yeah, so I've got the Shown by the Elves bookseller books. I've got a book called The Bookseller's Tale, obviously about bookselling, and Oliver Darkshire. I'm going to be reading his book as well. As I say, £1. The next was from Vinted, and it's 5 books. It's 5 books in the series. The first being To Your Scattered Bodies Go. Philip Jose Farmer. It's priced at £1, but there was 20% off when I got got 5 of them as a bundle. So I got, that's volume 1 in the Riverworld saga. The Fabulous Riverboat is volume 2. The spine's got creasage, and I think that's light faded compared to the other one. Third volume in the Riverworld saga, The Dark Design. Fourth volume, The Magic Labyrinth. And then the fifth volume, Gods of Riverworld. I do like that cover. So they're in probably better than acceptable condition. But for £1 each minus the 20%, I can't grumble. I'll read the back of To Your Scattered Bodies Go, which is volume 1 in the saga. Welcome to Riverworld. It is not like our world, or any world that can be imagined by anyone but Philip Jose Farmer. It is huge and mysterious. It has a central river, rimmed by mountains, with a hidden source and an unknown end. Reborn there is every last soul who ever lived on Earth, from prehistoric ape men to moon-dwelling future civilizations. Reborn there is Sir Richard Francis Burton, translator of the Arabian Nights, explorer, brawler, scholar, adventurer. His quest to discover the end of the river, the meaning of the world's existence. The Evening Standard says impressively imaginative and well researched. Time Out says fantasy, mystery and danger rear their immortal heads and are masterfully combined with a truly riveting purpose into one of those all too rare and valuable books you can't put down. It's kind of a cult book. See it mentioned a lot, and I wasn't going to refuse. I've got some to unwrap. So these are in. Actually, these are. Hope the table doesn't shake too much. I can't remember 90% of what I bought because the last purchase was end of November. There's probably about 4 or 5 that I remember getting that are in here. So the first in this, again, I'm pretty sure every single one of these were £1, and then there was reductions for getting the bundle. Piers Anthony for Thor. I'm not quite sure whether it's fantasy or science fiction or a bit of both. Thorn, Piers Anthony. Nice condition, these. Leonard Daventry, A Man of Double Deed. Never heard of Leonard Daventry before. Well, I'd looked at this, what the seller was selling with the other stuff, and I thought, oh, get this. This brilliant new SF author is a discovery. Leonard Daventry has created a 3-dimensional future and has written both a subtle and an alarming novel. When was this? Oh, 1965. This edition, 1967. Wow, it's 60 years old. Window on the Future, edited by Douglas Hill. Again, nice condition. Stories in here by some big names, actually. J.G. Ballard, The Subliminal Man. Wasted on the Young, John Brunner. The Circulation of the Blood, Brian Aldiss, and Sense of Proportion by E.C. Tubb. This is 1966. in the same package. So there's them 4 and these. Oh, I remember this one. This one, the top one, is one that I actually might have persuaded me to buy originally, actually. James Herbert, The Survivor. Because I couldn't believe that this edition was going for £1. It's a 1980 reprint, 1976 originally. But a 1980 reprint of that, I think it's worth a little bit more than £1. Probably getting carried away. It's a nice condition anyway. Colin Anderson, Magellan. Never heard of Colin Anderson before, but again, nice condition. Magellan, 100 square miles of super city and last outpost of a civilization devastated by nuclear war. Magellan, home of 50 million human beings enjoying unlimited technical power, material affluence, and personal freedom. 50 million sick and lonely people oppressed by the futility of their existence. Magellan, poised on the eve of liberation, a computer-created paradise of the mind and a stalking ground of unimagined terrors. I mean, it's a pretty. I think is it wrong to call that a bit naff? But the premise sounds interesting anyway. And then there was this one, which I do like the cover. Look at that. Bit of creasage on the spine there, but whoa, that is nice. Extraordinary Stories by Ray Bradbury, Isaac Asimov, Robert Sheckley, Murray Leinster. Oh, it's got a reddy orange end paper as well. 1965 second printing. Oh, there's Clifford Simak as well. And Fritz Leiber. Wow. £1. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This one was not as well wrapped as that other one because it came actually ripped like, can I hold that there? It was ripped like that. Amazingly, it had everything in it that was supposed to be in it. But even so, not exactly great packaging. And I really liked this particular one. It's The Hound of the Baskervilles, obviously Sherlock Holmes, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. But a fantastic edition. Oh, as nice as that. Really nice edition. 1959, this edition. Wow, it's clean. I'm going to say it must have been read, but it's in good cracking condition for what, 70 years old. So yeah, again, £1. And it's the publisher is John Murray. Not heard of John Murray before. John Murray in London. Wow, really chuffed with that. And then within the same package where there's another 4 books, might have to cover this up a bit. Rena Vale, Taurus 4. Never heard of Rena Vale before. This is a Coronet edition, 1970, first printing. It's just a nice filler. I saw it. I probably wouldn't have ordered it on its own, but because I was buying anyway and it was £1. A. Van Vogt, The Wizard of Lynn. Unbelievable condition for the. It's got a bit of a tear there and a crease there, but oh, it's got a red side as well. But considering it got all torn in the post, and it's 1968, a McFadden book. Wow. Again in the same package, the mammoth book of New Sherlock Holmes Adventures. So these are stories by other authors involving Sherlock Holmes. Michael Moorcock's one of them as well. Oh, wow. I did not know. Bargain. There's a Guy Smith story. Simon Clarke. Robert Weinberg. Oh, wow. As you know, I love Robert Weinberg and the Vampire Masquerade trilogy. Stephen Baxter. Martin Edwards, presumably not the 1980s chairman of Man United. But Guy Smith, if you don't know, Guy Smith is a horror author, and he tends to produce pulp style horror stories in the early to mid 80s and beyond. Produced other genres as well. Amazingly, I've got a western that I picked up. There's a book called Paperbacks from Hell, which documents lots of different horror covers, and Guy Smith's horror covers are quite renowned, and they go for lots and lots and lots of money. But yeah, so to have a Guy Smith Sherlock Holmes story there is yeah, I'm chuffed. Also Simon Clarke as well. Just recently picked up Night of the Triffids. Simon Clarke wrote a sequel to Day of the Triffids. Very, very pleased with that. Good condition as well. And then the last one in that little bag is a Clifford Simak Enchanted Pilgrimage. Not great, Nick, but okay. The cover's in nice condition. Their quest was to find the elders, but hellhounds, witchcraft, and harpies had their way. From the theft of a manuscript in a fusty library, an amazing tale develops. From a young man's obstinate questions emerges an answer of stupendous import. The quest for an elder civilization becomes a terrifying ordeal. Enchanted Pilgrimage is like no other fantasy novel, a stunning adventure set in an alternate universe where myths still walk the earth. The imagination of some of these authors is just fantastic. This is originally 1976, and this is published in 1985 by Methuen. I've picked up a few Simaks recently. Hong Kong Phooey. This one wasn't £1, but it was free postage, and I think it was it £3.50 or £4? It was the dearest one in the whole batch. Struggling here. This is a DK book. Writers, Their Lives and Works. So Mark Twain there. Can you get it? See it with light? Not really holding that very well, am I? What else we got? F. Scott Fitzgerald. So there's 2 or 3 or 4 pages on lots of different authors. Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And as well as being interesting for what's in here, so many authors. What I thought I'd do, how many pages is there? There's 357 pages in all. So what I thought I'd do is, you might have seen a video that I did for what I'm going to, the classics that I'm reading next year. There's 12 books that I picked out. For the 13th book, what I might do is, of the 357 pages, I'll put that in a randomizer on the phone and come up with a random page, open it up, see what that page number is, and I will read a book by that particular author, whatever it is. I mean, they're all classic authors: Henry James, Thomas Hardy, Emily Dickinson, Leo Tolstoy, Ibsen, Dostoevsky, Flaubert, Baudelaire. Yeah, so I'm going to enjoy that. Not done yet. I think I know what's in this one. This is quite an exciting one for me, this. Two books in this one. And years ago, early 80s, I read Omen 3, Omen 4 and Omen 5. I'd seen the films as a young early teenager for Omen 1 and Omen 2, Damien Omen 2. But I'd not read 1 and 2. So I thought, I want to read all 5 again. And I picked up Damien Omen 2. Not in the... It could be in better condition. There's a crease going down there, but it's quite hard to get Omen 1 and Omen 2 for reasonable money in an acceptable condition. I didn't want to pay a lot. I think this was £3. In fact, I know it was £3. So that was in there. And then, because I looked at what the seller was selling as well as Omen, I got Bite by Richard Lehman. He's a horror author. I've got quite a few Lehmans in this livery. And I've not seen Bite before. I've got 2 boxes left now. There's glue there, so I have no idea what's in here. So I'd seen other channels mention this particular author, and I saw these at a... I think I got the whole lot. I think they were £7, and I ended up getting them for £5.80. And it's the Door-Size Cycle by Gordon R. Dixon. Nice condition. The first 3 in the... So comments on the back. Anne McCaffrey says, a classic future legend, brilliant. Ben Bover says, the grandest saga in the history of science fiction. And Analog Magazine says, far more logical, more humanly real, and with a stronger philosophical foundation than either Isaac Asimov's Future of the Foundations or Robert Heinlein's Future History. That's one. Soldier Ask Not. That's volume 2 in the series. Volume 3 is called Dorsai. So that's obviously, there's been light fade in there, but they're in pretty good condition. And it goes downhill a bit. The 4th one, I presume it's the 4th one, The Spirit of Dorsai. That spine's a bit ropey. 1982, 6 printing. Masters. Now, is this, this might be a different series. Masters of Everon. Looks interesting though, doesn't it? Let's have a look. Yeah, right, the Dorsai trilogy. The Dorsai trilogy is these three. And then this Spirit of Dorsai, don't know what that is, but don't know whether he wrote a fourth or it's just a spin-off, don't know. But this one, this Masters of Everon, appears to be a completely different, either standalone or series. Mission to Universe. Again, a bit ropey, but condition. But there's what? There's one, two. Yeah, so there's seven. Yeah, seven with £1 each. £7 minus the discount. £5.80. Ancient My Enemy. I believe this is a compendium short stories. 1978. Nice. Then we got this box. This is the last one. As you can see, I didn't half get my money's worth for £49.15. But it really does pay to use to create bundles or put in your watch list and just wait for discounts. Because the discounts can be as much as 35%. Depends how long the stuff's been for sale for, I guess. Right, we're in. Try not to rock this table. Oh no, we're not in yet. So in this box, there's a Brian Aldiss pan lozenge, the 80-minute hour. Not in the greatest of condition, but for what I paid, a dust. That was free. 1974. Got lots of Aldisses already, and I met him before he passed away. Very nice man. Chris Boyce, Catch World. So this again was someone who was selling. There was obviously one or two books that someone was selling that caught my eye, and I thought, I might as well make a bundle of other stuff that they were selling because it seemed interesting. Never heard of Chris Boyce before. This is do I cover any? I don't think I have to cover anything here. Piers Anthony, Mercycle. Haven't the faintest idea. Is it? I have no idea. I think this must have been one that I padded the bundle with. Is it a cross between a mermaid and a bicycle? God knows. Nice condition and cover anyway. A. Van Vogt, Tyrannopolis. It's a nice one, that. Sphere. That is nice. 77. Appears to be a first edition. I mean, there's scuffing and stuff, but for less than £1. Robert Heinlein, The Star Beast. Never read any Heinlein. James Blish, Galactic Cluster. Granada. No, this can't be. Oh, so 1960. It's 1980 this was published. Originally 1960. That's a nice cover though. Larry Niven, The Integral Trees. So Larry Niven wrote Ringworld, and this is going to be very controversial, but I did not take to Ringworld at all. I thought it was massively overrated compared to the hype and regard that it's held in. But this was obviously being sold by the same seller, and I thought, well, let's give him another try. A Panther, The Thirst Quenchers by Rick Raphael. Panther. Never heard of Rick Raphael before. It's got spine bend, but otherwise, I mean, there's not much creasing on that. I think these worked out at, I'll have to count them. I've got a feeling there was 11 and they were £1 each, but I got it for £7 something. So that again, the discount paid for postage, because all the postages were either by every or in post. So it was like £2.29, I think, or £2.40 sometimes. Never any more than that. So it's pretty amazing. Wow, this is 1968. Wow. 3 and 6 originally, the cost. We're getting through it. I think there might be 2 left. Alfred Bester, The Deceivers. Again, a relatively nice, somewhat unblemished cover. There's a little bit of a crease, but otherwise that's fine. Bit of a dirty spine, which probably can be wiped. Bit of bend. But for what's 7 divided by 11? So it's going to be about 65, 70p each. Somebody previously sold this for 10p. Unbelievable. Alfred Bester for 10p. This is a pan. If you don't know, Alfred Bester wrote a very famous book called The Demolished Man. And then the final book's a history book. And it's Max Hastings, The Korean War. Max Hastings is one of my favourite history writers. And I've got his Vietnam book. And it's got a red livery. And I was wanting the republished version of this Korean War in paperback, because the red livery is a blue livery for the Korean War, but did go really nice together. But it's never been anything below 11 or 12 quid since it was republished. And I saw this for £1 minus the discount, and I'm not going to be stupid enough to turn down something with the equivalent of 70p compared to 10 or 11 quid. Yeah, so there we go. So that's it. That's how to spend £49.15. And I've got to find a home for them. I've got bags and boxes everywhere, which I guess it should be when unwrapping Christmas presents. And it's great to have bought them. The last one, as I say, was the end of November, and I couldn't remember most of them. There was maybe 5 or 6 that I knew I had. I knew I was getting the Korean War. I knew I was getting Damien Omen 2, and there's maybe 3 or 4 others that I remember, but the rest didn't have a clue. Couldn't remember. So a nice surprise. So there we go. So as I asked at the start, if there's any books you've got over the Christmas period, then I'd be interested to know, and by all means put them in the comments. Hope you've enjoyed this, and if you're watching this on Christmas Day, Merry Christmas once again, and if you're watching this after Christmas, I hope you have a Happy New Year. Thanks for watching. I very much appreciate it. If you want to see any more of my videos in future, by all means click like, click subscribe, and if you do that, no doubt I'll see you again soon. Thank you very much. Goodbye.